Let's finish your oil pastel pumpkin drawings by working on the stem and the background. Hello, my talented artists. Don't forget to subscribe. When I get to my stem, I don't want to just use one color again. I want to use two colors. I decide that I want to use a light green and a brown. And I'm going to do the light color in the middle and a little bit of the dark color. Now I'm going to use the light color to blend those. It's such a tiny shape that you really are just going to use circle motions. You just want to make sure you have more than one color because that creates the look of light shining on it. I am going to go back to our pencil and we are going to make a line that goes behind the pumpkin. It can be a diagonal line, it can be a curved line, it could be a straight line. It's whatever you want, just to separate the top from the bottom of the background. So I think I'll just do a little diagonal line here. I'm gonna pretend like lift up, right? You do your line and then you don't wanna draw over your pumpkin, so you lift up, come over here and finish the line. And then I want you to pick a color for the bottom that is not one of the colors you used for your pumpkin. So I used blue, I have orange, oh, I don't have a lot that I mean, there's even green in here. I really mixed a lot of the colors. So I have purple. I guess I could do red, even though there's no red. And I want a dark color to make the shadow. We are going to draw a shadow under our pumpkins, and I want you to look at the shape of the shadow. It kind of mimics those ridges and bumps that we drew on our drawing. I am going to go crazy and just pick up that nice black oil pastel and do a nice thin line. I'm going to draw a line of black, but don't forget to keep those bumps at the bottom of your pumpkin, and do not go all the way around your pumpkin. The shadow does not go all the way around. It is just at the bottom. I don't want my shadow to be too dark, so I'm going to pick, maybe I'll blend it with a little red, but I am going to use little circle motions and it's going to blend out. I'm also going to draw the edge of my shadow. I might have put too many bumps in my shadow. I'm going to have lines going off the page, and now I'm going to blend. The main objective is to create contrast between the pumpkin and the background. We do not want the pumpkin to blend in with the background. Here's a chance to use texture. You can pick a line or a shape that you can repeat. If you need some practice with textures, follow this link right here, and there's a great little lesson I have on creating different textures and learning about repetition and how it relates to texture. On this bottom part, I'm gonna outline my pumpkin so I don't draw on top of my pumpkin. This is the background and I don't want to draw on top of my pumpkin. So now I'm just gonna do some little spirals. When you repeat a line or a shape, it creates a texture in your drawing, a visual texture. We need to fill this in, remember? But if you want something to be white, it can be white. You just got to use white oil pastel. We don't want to see the white of the page. So I'm going to keep doing those spiral lines to blend in. And I can blend a little bit on the edge of my shadow. Let's speed it up so that we can get to your turn to draw. When I get close to my pumpkin, I don't want to do those curly spiral lines because it might draw over my pumpkin. So I'm going to be very careful right next to my pumpkin. And then when I get a little bit of protective oil pastel line, I can go back to my spiral lines to create that texture. The reason why I have to keep speeding up the video is because it does take time. So make sure that you're really working on staying with it, building up your capacity to keep drawing. Artists, I did not create contrast between the background and the pumpkin. Both the color and the value between the background and the pumpkin are very similar. So how can I create contrast? I'm going to do some more red spirals. By using the fully saturated red color and defining that spiral texture, I am going to create contrast between the pumpkin and the background. My pumpkin is now contrasting with the background. And now I'm going to pick a different color. Now I know I do have blue, but I don't have light blue. I have a little purple. I could do this very dark blue. That would make the pumpkin really pop out. Make sure you do not draw over your pumpkin by building up a line around it with the oil pastel. Once I've outlined it to kind of protect my pumpkin so I don't start coloring over my pumpkin, I want to make a protective wall of oil pastel around my pumpkin. I am going to think of another line that I'm going to repeat, and I think I'm just going to do a straight vertical line. To create a texture, you have to use two colors, and that color is going to be a light blue. As we're getting to the end of the drawing, we have to remember to cover all the white of the page. Now, to be able to color over all this white, I have to slow down and I have to really aim. So you can see the difference between this area looks done, this area still needs more work. But again, the value is too light. I need to create some contrast between the values of the background and the pumpkin, so let's darken it up a bit. Uh-oh, look what I did. I colored over, making that line, but guess what? The cool thing about oil pastels is you can scrape it off and neaten it up with just your fingernail. Let's get going!